Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today in our mock lesson. Today we're going to be exploring Jacob the liar. So start off with a quick activity. You can just put up your hands, and I'm going to call upon a few different people to share, just to get us going. So firstly, I want you to put up your hands if you know what a white lie is. Great. So maybe Hadar, could you share? Sorry, mouthful. Could you share what a white lie is?
When you not completely saying the truth, just to be nice, to not having all the Hebrew in my head. Not to offend someone.
Okay, so a lie that is sort of allowed to be shared so that you don't offend someone. Does anyone have any examples of a white lie?
So telling someone they look fabulous when, yeah, they might not look so.
Okay, so sharing something to make sure that they don't get offended or upset or hurt. Any other examples?
With food, like you've got, I've been to someone's house for dinner, did you like this? And I've said yes when I didn't.
Okay, great example. And I have also a story very similar to that. So if we could just think about all that we've heard, the types of, the examples, the definition, could someone just repeat that to the entire class of what is a white lie? Alec.
It's something you say to make someone else feel comfortable or better, or get a positive outcome from saying something that is slightly not correct.
Okay, really good question. So maybe if I could add, it's something that is about the uplifting of someone else and not necessarily our own uplifting. We're not going to get anything, there should be no gain, personal gain out of a white lie. Is everyone happy with that? Those two definitions and that little add-on?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hadar?
And it's socially acceptable.
Interesting, it's socially acceptable, so it's something that we're allowed to do. That's a really interesting add, thank you so much. So today, as I said at the beginning, we're going to be exploring Jacob the liar, and I want to explore three different parts of the story of Jacob. I want to do that for the following goals. The first one is to familiarize us with the Torah's depiction of Jacob and how he lied in order to secure his legacy. The second is that I want us to understand that while Jacob is considered a biblical hero, he's also human, and therefore, like any human, he is also flawed. And this story may be an example of that flaw. Finally, I want us to understand two different approaches, two different reasons why it might be okay to lie, and why it's socially acceptable. What I'd like to do now is I would like to look at the story of Jacob, the story where Jacob goes to his father to get the blessing as part of the birthright. And what we're going to do is we're going to break up into chavutot, into pairs, and we are going to explore a short passage from the Torah. And with your highlighters, you are going to highlight the two times that we see the lies that Jacob had shared. Thank you so much for passing those out. So I've already divided you into pairs. I'm going to show that on the screen in a moment. And I've also allocated you into different spaces in the room. So if you could please stand up and move to the right spaces. We'll get to that in a second. I just want to quickly provide some instructions about breaking into groups. I want to share with you about how long it should take. And what exactly you need to do. So firstly, we shouldn't take any longer than 10 minutes. You're going to highlight the two different lies on your sheet, and then as a whole class we'll regroup and we'll share to make sure that everyone has got the same understanding. Can someone please share back to the class what we're going to be doing in this exercise? Thanks, Wendy.
So you're going to put us into partners, and we need to move to the appropriate space to be mindful of our voices and spatial awareness. If we do need further instructions, we can connect with another group, and if we're really still unsure, we can connect with you.
Great, thank you so much. So this transition, it should take us about 30 seconds to get seated into our groups and to find our pairs. Michelle, you are actually Shelley for this one, so that's why your name is on the list. And you'll have 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes to do this. In the event that we've all finished, you can put your highlighter on the page, and that just tells me that you're finished. You can either start thinking about different reasons why it's okay to lie, but if we're all finished earlier than 10 minutes, then we'll continue with the lesson. Okay, so these are your chavutot. You can please stand up and transition into your pairs and into the right location in the room. Okay, everyone, hands down please, and all eyes on me. Thank you very much. Okay, can I have someone to please, with their hands up, just volunteer to share the first point in the text where we see Jacob lying? Steph?
Where that the 12th line, it says, and he said, yes, which of my sons are you? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn.
So here Jacob explicitly says that I am Esau, his brother. So this was not just a white lie, this was a real, full-blown lie, given our definition of what a white lie might be. Can someone share the second time we see Jacob lie? Shoshi?
Passage 24, he asked, are you really my son Esau? And when he said, I am.
Again, once again, he's very clear on what the question is, and he's made the decision to lie. So let's now brainstorm together, okay? I want us to start thinking creatively about why we think Jacob might have lied. What's the reasons that Jacob might have chosen to lie? I want to focus on two reasons that maybe Jacob lied. The first thing was this. secure the family legacy. In the story of the patriarchs and the matriarch, we're talking about a promise, a covenant that goes down from God to Abraham, from Abraham to Isaac. And here we are at a junction point where there's Esau and Jacob. It can't go to two. If we look back, if the brothers were looking back at the story of their father and their uncle, they know that Abraham chose Isaac instead of choosing Ishmael, their uncle. So there's already an understanding that the blessing, this covenant, this transmission from one generation to the next is only going to happen to one of them. So there is this idea of securing that family legacy. We're going to explore that in a moment. The second reason, which I think is really pertinent to our understanding of white lies and whether we're okay with lying, is this one, that his mum told him to. In Judaism, there's this really deep understanding of respect of your parents. We know that it's in one of the commandments, one of the Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 Commandments. It's the 5th commandment of honor your mother and your father. In ancient cultures especially, that idea of honoring your parents and doing what they tell you is extremely significant. And we see Jacob being told by his mother to go and do something, and he does exactly that. And we're going to explore that together. I'm going to hand out another sheet. It says Rabbi Noam Elimelech, and he shares an idea. If you are going to cause distress, you're allowed to lie. And so, what this source tells us is that for the right reasons, when there's maybe what is called an altruistic reason, something that's about the greater good, one is allowed to lie. Okay, so what I would like us to do now is I'd like to take these two reasons, and I would like us to take this sheet. One side is for reason 1, one side is for reason 2, and by yourselves, I would like you to explore these questions. There's 3 questions. Why do you think this reason makes it okay to lie? Second question is, how do you judge Jacob for lying in this story based on that reason? And if this reason is okay to lie, what could happen if it was used in the wrong hands or with the wrong intentions? Okay, we're going to do one reason for each side. I'm going to look at this overnight, and I'll come back to you tomorrow and just share any thoughts about each one. And of course, for those that want to, it's about your style of writing. So if you want to write in bullet points, write in bullet points. If you want to write in a short answer essay form, you've got a few lines, you can do that however you feel comfortable in sharing. I'll ask if we could please hand those out. I have put the 2 reasons. Again, you've got the reasons in front of you, but I put a short synopsis of the reasons up on the board and the screen, so you've got that in front of you. And we're just going to take, before we start everyone, we're just going to take no more than 10 minutes in order to fill this out. And if I could just get someone to please share what we're doing before we begin, just to make sure that everyone is understanding. Someone want to share what we're doing, Rima?
We're working individually with the worksheets given out to us. We're examining both reasons and answering the questions as provided.
Great, thank you so much. If anyone has any questions, this is a time for independent practice, so I'll ask you not to ask your neighbours, but just put up your hands and I'll come around and answer any questions for you. Okay, let's begin, 10 minutes.
So can you clarify what the 2 reasons are, please? Altruism and?
Okay, so just for everyone's sake, we're going to quickly clarify again. So there's 2 reasons that Rebecca encouraged Jacob to lie so that she could bring about the right outcomes. And the second reason was that Jacob lied in order to ensure that his mother would not be upset. Okay, so he was respecting his mum. So it all comes down to his mum and family legacy. And then you've got those 2 sources, one from Rabbi Noam Elimelech and one from the Talmud, which you've got in front of you. Any other questions before we begin? Okay, thanks everyone. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass out a yes-no sheet. We're just going to quickly do a final exercise. Can I just take your last? Is that your sheet?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So today we explored the story of Jacob lying to his father. We looked at different reasons why he might be allowed to lie, and I want to finish up with a class vote. When we think about Jacob and his trajectory, his life, yesterday we spoke about Jacob and his trickery, how he acquired the birthright and tricked his brother Esau with a bowl of lentil soup. Today we looked at how he used some acts of deception in order to get the blessing from his father, and he lied through that story. And tomorrow we're going to look at how he wrestled with the angel and became the father of the 12 tribes. And it's a very interesting trajectory to start in this trickery and to then somehow come out the other end as the father of what is now known the children of Israel. So I want us to think about what that means. What does it mean that our biblical heroes are not always perfect? What does it mean that sometimes in order to progress to something amazing, we sometimes have to do drastic things? And how does that sit with us as individuals? There's no right or wrong answer in this exercise. But you have in front of you yes and no. Okay? The ability to vote, to use the power of your vote to decide for you what is okay. So here's a question. Knowing that Jacob lied, do you think he is deserving of being called a biblical hero?
It depends.
So this is not a depends, this is... Okay. So we will explore these questions more, and you'll have more opportunity to explain some of your thinking around this. But thank you so much for a great lesson, and enjoy the rest of your day.